If we take the case of rest of the India, one can challenge state government in the court of a law if election of local bodies got delayed as per 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. So is it justified to call it a privilege instead of a right or entitlement when ADCs have a history of being defunct for a large period of a time, and even since last election was, I think, was in 2015?
So if I understand your question correctly, you are asking me if it's a privilege if ADCs are defunct? Is that your question?
I am asking if you are comparing from the rest of India. I belong to UP. If election for Panchayati Raj is not going to happen in my district, I will go in the court of law and challenge the state government. So if you this is a privilege, so I am talking about the tribal communities. So ADCs has a long history of being defunct because they are not constitutionally mandated.
Sir, I think you have to see this in two parts. One is that when we talk about them, have enough vested powers in them. If they are not functional, then that is exactly what I said in my talk. We have to figure out why are they not functional? Why are they not able to use the powers vested in them to the best of their capability? That was my point. And I'm not sure if I understand what you're saying. Your problem is with my usage of the word privilege? No.
Yeah. Next.
Thank you very much, panelists, for coming and presenting. Yeah. Actually, I have more clarification than question, so I hope you bear. And then I ask the privilege to have this to given a time. So in the beginning, majority versus minority and Christian versus Hindu. And this in the presentation of Dr. Arambam is he accused the left liberal. So when we see how this developed, so it is come from the fake news that outsourced from the valley. That is how they project this Christian versus Hindu kind of thing coming to being. And then there is a narrative that in Churchanpur, temples are burned down. And then in valley, so many Christian or temples are burned down by the Kuki. But there is no ways for the Kuki have a chance to burn down maybe Christian church or a temple in valley. But in Churchanpur, immediately investigation was done, and there is one temple that is standing door and it is safe. And then in a bordering area in Bishnupur and Churchanpur, in a village, Meitei village, there are 4 churches were burned down. That is the fact. I don't deny it.
Can you restrict the questions?
Actually, I have to clarification because this is it's really limited. And then the conflict is minority versus majority. That is the fact. And if we follow the literature and ethnic conflict, so I'm studying an ethnic conflict. It's more like ethnic cleansing. The nature of the conflict is happening.
What about in More?
No. This is a question. But just hold on. This is a question referred to the panelists and others should not intervene.
And then Jalengam, this the book Jalengam.
Are we having a question and answer session or a clarification?
I have to do this piece. I have to do this. No. I have to please
Let me say whatever. No.
Hello, everybody, please. This is a very sensitive and emotionally charged issue, and I do understand this. And we need to be sensitive and have a good understanding from what angle and perspective the people are, presenting their views. And let's control and check our emotions. I have taken the responsibility to bring over this people on one platform. Please respect this space.
May I request if any audience wants to ask a question, please ask the question.
Yes, I have also many questions, but in order to save time, some perspective that has been presented, we need to see from the other perspective as well. So, Zelan,
We have 50 to 20
please,
minutes. We have many people.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I do understand. I do
You have certain determined ask questions to article chance.
No, Zelenka,
He is my student.
the free movement that he talked about the author is, the author itself is the president of militant groups, or they call it revolutionary group, okay?
Okay.
The free movement is
Let me
before the
start.
colonization, that he talked about that free movement. That we can't relate that book, the free movements and this conflict, there's no relation.
No, done. No, you are given special privilege.
And then
Nobody is allowed to speak.
suspension of operation, you list down so many in certain group who are under SO, but you fail to present the daily base in certain group. Those who are banned.
Sorry, you have to maintain some protocol.
Listen, gentlemen, you are not a spokesperson.
Just 1 minute, please. I don't want anybody. Just 1 minute. Okay, last question, please. Let's accept. Just only the question. Done. Just
This is
Don't
not.
give any proposal.
no, please.
No,
No,
this
I
is
don't
not
want
a
this.
propaganda.
David, please.
This is not a
No,
propaganda.
just 1 minute. Hurry up.
This the same hole, the same podium. I'm trained, okay? As a research scholar,
Let him finish.
I'm studying two communities, so we have to bring
Finish it.
both perspective from community. I'm speaking from the inclusive perspective of the conflict.
You are
No, this is not right. Please, I allow him to speak because he has a voice to be heard, and he's the only one, person Noni, would you like to have a quick answer, but please? Quick answer.
Can I answer now? I really thank you for joining this debate and discussion, and for raising the questions. Let me begin with the left liberal thing. I also grew up, as I said, I also studied in JNU and TU, and I have seen enough of this social science ghettoization. And you being from the Northeast, I think you must be aware and sensitive of these reality of the Northeast being cornered in the social science intellectual movement, right? So I want to, since you have raised question, let me take a couple of minutes to explain this properly, so that you can also get back to your room and think about how we are facing a common issue. Let me quote and remind you this scholar, Professor Gopal. He has written extensively on this, and he is the one who says that the Dalits are also facing similar kind of ghettoization in the social sciences. So are the tribes in the Northeast and also the people, right? So there, I think I was trying to raise this question of left liberal being very dominant, and before they visit the field, they already have a prejudiced perspective that aggravates the conflict. I hope you agree to this.
Yeah, totally I agree. You can this present conflict.
Please discuss
Fine. So let's not drama.
Outside, you will have a good discussion. Okay, next question, 2, 3
No, he has,
Yes.
please, give me a couple of minutes. He has more questions to me, I guess.
I want to ask you a question. This is for the benefit of both the communities.
Yeah.
The
Microphone.
data that you have presented, about the growth of villages. That's very startling to me. I come from data science and consulting background. What I see, let's take a certain example for this question. It's more hypothetical which research scholar like you can add to you. My starting point is that you have talked about ethnicity, geopolitical situations, and I want to add to the economic damage, right? From 1981 to 2011, let's assume the population has doubled. Okay? And we see that some of the part of districts, the villages number, they didn't increase, probably 10% or 20% increase. The population will increase by more than 100%. Right? There are areas where from 200 villages to 700 villages, which is almost around 350% increase. So what I see is that there are two economic situations which doesn't help both areas. For those areas where the villages increase by 300% or so, I see an issue of economy of scale. Because there the average population in the village will go down significantly because the population is growing only 100%, but the village is grown by 350%, right? Then whatever you do over there, the logistic cost will be extremely high, right? So you cannot have any good business, anything, the prices will go high over there, okay? So the people over there, they will have a problem of what you call as what do you call it, like after their earning, the money that is remaining with them after expense, the same very, very less. So you have some problem over there, right? On the areas where the growth didn't happen, the economic population is significantly, I think there will be a problem of subsistence. Subsistence. Yeah. So what it means is that a job which can actually fetch, for example, 30,000 rupees, people will be actually earning 10,000 rupees, and that problem is great. Now, I want to just go for these are hypotheses, probably all can find out into the facts that the conflict that we are seeing from an ethnicity and a geopolitical background also have a by design economical problem. I just want to raise this over
I
here.
think we need to close your part.
Can you give me 2 minutes to explain? Not explain his, but I think he had one more question to me.
Because one person. Here, from this side, because we also need participation.
Right.
Can I just stop here?
Yeah, sure, but be loud.
Yes. So for Noni, don't like to just up your right, not as a technical expert. So in India, the zamindari system or the feudal system has been abolished, even in Mizoram, right? But in the it's still a practice in the Kuki community. So how crucial that is related to the conflict right now? That's my question for Noni sir. For sir, SU agreement, like you mentioned, there are like some 33, 34 groups. Out of no, I mean out in the Chin Kuki group, there are around 33 to 34 groups, out of which 23 are in SU agreement. So that role of a SU and non-SU, and we have all seen, if I just open our website, SATP website, I can see that there is a KNF, which is a SU sign, and there is a KNF-N. So are these factions being created just to continue the BAU activity and also get the benefits of the government? So being an expert from the, from the army, would like to understand that one.
I'll take this to one. Term is suspension of operation. It is illegal. The Indian security forces do not operate on those armed groups. Somebody may feel offended if I use the word militia or militants, armed group. And those armed groups do not operate against the Indian security forces. Why did they enter into it? Because they realize that if you can, it is something like this. If I am going to collect khatta in your brigade block, if I enter into a understanding with the police that police will not arrest me and I will not harass a policeman, then I can collect khatta at my will. Am I correct? You have understood? So there is the. But then in this, you see, like I said, when we talk about the cookies are not an exclusive tribe. They have sub-tribe, sub-sub-tribe, sub-sub-sub-tribe. Okay. So, and the people of Northeast, including me, all of us, are very egoistic. We have a very huge ego, which comes in way of all our development. First, I will say I am a Maiti. Then I will say that I belong to so-and-so place, and I belong to so-and-so mohalla. So my loyalty first goes to the mohalla, then others. You understood? So similarly, these sub-tribes are. I do ask them that do you want to still stay with the Kuki group? Outwardly, he may say yes. Privately, he will say, yeah, kya karega? I have to abide by. I will give it now. When I was chairman of MPSC, I found before I ask you a question, you are aware of Mary Kom? You all have heard about Mary Kom. Now I will give you a multiple choice question. Okay, Mary Kom is A, Naga, B, a Kuki, C, a Meitei, D, a Mayan, that is outsiders, E, a Bengal, that is Muslim, F, none of the above. Which one is correct answer? Give me the answer. Huh? Give me the answer. Somebody said F, none of the F is correct.
No.
The Kom wants to retain its originality as Kom. But when I made a Kom MLA, he said that we have specialized to do the cookies, we have specialized to do. So there is a problem with the Northeast. We have a lot of people. So when you say those other smaller groups, they do not join because there are difference with the leaders. Somebody wanted to become leader, maybe in number two, they don't agree to it. It was not by design, it was by default I will register. Because joining the SU has all the advantages. Okay, then the government of India also wanted, or the system wanted it to sign on dotted paper that I will not demand independence and I will respect the territorial integrity of Manipur. Maybe they did not want to sign on this. Okay, I do not know what is the reason, but if I were a militant, if I were one of those armed group leaders, I would say the best because how many of you are in business? How many of you are? If you are going to send a truck today to Manipur in Fall, when you enter Dimapur, your truck will not go inside Dimapur before you pay something known as Gunda tax. So you'll ask me what is Gunda tax? Gunda tax is an exclusive tax to be paid to all insurgent groups. The amount of tax depends on the goods you are carrying and how many wheels does your truck have. Okay. So he will enter that I will negotiate. You will negotiate with the agent. He will say it comes out to 55,000. You will say I cannot send it. GPay kar lo. I think the Prime Minister Narendra Modi must be so happy that in fact even the tax is being collected. But I am aware of my friends coming. I understood. So this tax collection, if you are not part of the SU, you lose this privilege. You can be like about 4 days back, one Kuki armed cadre was arrested. He is from KNA, G or something. KIA, correct, KIA. Please, thank you very much.
Recently,
he is not a SU. So, since he is not SU, he has been arrested. If he was a part of SU, he wouldn't have been arrested.
KIA is.
and then theoretically it's not only also group, but
There is one.
KIA is from Chino.
No, this is Kuki Independent Army, not a party.
So that's my question. Like, it just, we feel like it's been misused. Like, some of them are in the sign and they just form another group to continue whatever they want to do. So should not.
No, you feel it is misused. If I am the intelligence man, if I am the security affairs force, who is acting as my eyes and ears against the Nagas and Meitei? Have you understood now? It acts as my eyes and ears, which it was doing interpretation of external law. How they were brought in. So I will not want SU to get. I will fight to 10 next. Because my survival, my success as an IT officer, my success as a security force man depends on intelligence. I may not get very hard intelligence from others, but from these people I will get a hard intelligence because I am paying him per head a subsidy of I think 6,000 or 7,000.
5,000.
I think it will increase to 6,000 or 7,000 because recently I have
73,000 for group, leader will get 5,000.
No, it is. I just had about 10 days back. I had a meeting with how does it matter? So, but I will just tell you. I had a meeting with the interlocutor, Mr. Mishra. So my question is very simple, like you are asked. जब तक सूरज चांद रहेगा, सू रहेगा क्या? Please bring it to a logical conclusion. Then he told me the whole history of school. I told him that देखो जब शंभू सिंह ने शू साइन किया था मैं भी फिर के गया था ठीक है ना शंभू सिंह was the joint secretary of this who signed the शू okay so it is not that I am against anyone but what I am trying to say that it is a thing which but I have never said it against you because I have had lessons
Just hurry up.
I'll just take 2 minutes because I think a couple of questions were directed to me. I'll just give in dotted lines. First to, I think, students answer a question. Just let it, make it very short by saying that Manipur has been known for very interesting communist movement, and Isam Irabur is the one important figure. I think we all can remember that Irabur is the man produced from Manipur. And I think no liberal left needs to teach us what is communism, right? Second, Sue was another question I think raised. Of course, I think that I have heard there are a couple of valley-based underground groups who are in suspension operation with the government of Manipur. But I think we have not seen their designated camps. They don't have. So if they don't have designated camps, and I have not seen their charter of understanding, so I think they are there. I think Sir has already revealed the secrets of these processes. So I think your question to say that why don't you mention other groups in suspension operation, it becomes slightly insignificant. Please don't mind. That's not debate.
Their camps are not divisible, but they have business.
Have a tea break.
Okay, fine. Text on the issue on the text part, on the taxation part, I want to let everyone know here that if you are a Manipuri, I think you will come to know the significance and the volume of taxation that you face on the highways. So the potato per kg perhaps is 40 kg in Manipur. I'm not sure how much is here. It's very expensive. So this is all because of the highway taxation, right? So every truck, every carrier, they have to give taxes, and these taxes are collected by these underground groups, mainly under suspension operation or big peace talks. The other question raised was on economic impact. Of course, when there is a unnatural demographic growth. I want to tell you that in 1960, Manipur grew by 38%, which is much higher than the national average, which should be ideally about 19%, right? So from 19% average of the country, Manipur grew up to 38% in 1960s. That means that something is happening in terms of demography. But now come to 2011 census aftermath, you can see that there are areas where population has been grown by 141%. So there are some serious issues. These are data speaking, not me. Lastly, I was asked about Jamindari system. I think the Kutnis and the tribal in the region will have to rethink whether these customary laws are relevant and good for their own community. I being not a part of the exact community, it will be difficult for me to comment. However, I feel that the Zamindari system kind of a format of law is not good for today. Their access to social justice, their access to economic justice is completely derailed because of these existing customary laws. Therefore, there is a need for codification of customary laws. And if you look at 371A, if you look at 371A provision, there are provisions that the customary laws will prevail over the Indian Constitution and its provisions. So I think there are a lot of issues coming up. When there's a women rape, for example, when there's a violence against women, it is very difficult for them to get justice because of the hardships created by the customary laws. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we'll have a chai ki upar mein chit chat. Just quickly for 10 to 15 minutes, and then we come back and go on to the second session. Thank you very much.